Hi, Mo Crafty friends. Happy 4th of July to you. I hope you are enjoying your Independence Day today. If you find yourself with a few extra minutes and you thought you might want to get a little Mo Crafty, I do have a quick, less than 5-minute project that you can assemble, and I am actually calling it the Shapes and Stripes card. So if you have some time, come join me. It'll take merely minutes, and we can celebrate 4th of July together. Okay, what I'm starting with first is just basic white cardstock, A2 size, so that's usually right about 4.25 by 5, and a couple strips of paper. Now, this is a great way to get rid of all of your extra little pieces laying around the house, and I happen to have some really cute patriotic paper. This is cut at an almost 2-inch, not quite a 2-inch, by I think a 4 1/4. It just depends on the size of your card. So it's going to be just a smidge less than the width and the length of your card. So go ahead and just adhere those together. You're just going to cut those stripes down, one on top of the other. I usually like to pick some coordinating colors. And then you're going to take any shape that you happen to have in your die cut library. This one happens to be a scallop circle, but it can be a star or a square or any shape that you want. This is going to be your backdrop to your picture. So I've done this in a navy blue, and I'm actually dusting the edges with some Distress ink Picket Fence white. Now, this is a scrap, as I told you, and this is a great way to use up your scraps. I just add just a tiny bit of tacky glue and then stick it down on the side. Okay, so once that's dried just a little bit, I've cut out some shapes. Remember, we called this the Shape and Stripe card. So my shapes today are going to be some sunflowers, and I happen to just have some of these laying around in my die cuts, but whatever you happen to have is perfect. I am also dusting these in a Distress ink brown, like a vintage photo brown. And this just sort of gives the card dimension, if you will. You don't have to do this, but I like that it gives it a little bit of a professionalism. So once I've dusted that with ink, I'm just going to attach just a tiny drop of tacky glue off to the behind the little items that I want to glue down. And less is more, of course, as I always say with glue. And then attach the middle. Now, these particular die cuts come from the Stamps of Life company. They are so cute. I love sunflowers anyway. They're one of my favorites. And I thought that these colors of yellow and brown looked really nice up against the red, white, and blue. All right, let me just attach the other middle here. And notice, again, these are all cut and ready to go. And other than dusting them with ink, they literally assemble in minutes. And tacky glue is a fairly forgiving glue, but if you needed it really quickly to head off to a barbecue, you could actually use a roller tape as well. Okay, now I've cut at about a 2.5 inch, just a white piece of paper as a flag, and then I did use a punch to get the endings to look like a flag. And then you choose your sentiment, and this happens to be a sentiment I have not actually used all that much, and so I wanted to do this in a navy blue. So I'm inking this up and just applying on the front. Now, if I mess up with a stamp, just like you probably already know, you can always flip the flag over and try again. So don't worry about whether your stamping is perfect. You can always do it again. The great rule of thumb is just to glue last. All right, and I'm just going to attach this particular flag to the very top of my card. Okay, now what really gives a card professionalism is a white gel pen. And if you want to invest in just a few supplies, I strongly recommend having some detail pens around in both black and white. This is just a white gel pen. I'm just adding dots wherever I sort of feel the need. More is more in this case, and it really gives it some depth and dimension. Okay, my card is finished, and I am now ready to head off to that barbecue. You know, you could literally do this project with any colors you want, even beyond the 4th of July. If you like this project, come give me a follow at alittlemocrafty.wordpress.com. Happy 4th of July, everyone.